No directives, aka for officer safety.
First Amendment protects, in basic, this is just a basic overview, religious conduct, religious conversations, political conversations, symbolic expression like burning flags is protected. Yeah, so symbolic expression is protected. The right not to speak, like preventing the government from making everyone take a loyalty oath, or the Fifth Amendment right against incrimination, okay? So you don't incriminate yourself. So we have these types of things are protected free speech. Now, even though we have that, I have written right here TPM. That stands for reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions on free speech are permitted. Reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions, permits, rallies, permits, all these kinds of things. So reasonable time, place, and manner regulations are going to be upheld.
I'm literally trying to leave and you're stopping me. You are making more time because I'm trying to walk out the door and you stop me from walking out the door.
That was Noah Peterson getting arrested for speaking at a city council meeting. Noah is a 23-year-old resident of Newton, Iowa. In 2020, he became concerned with how his local police department was treating residents. He turned that concern into action when he went to his city council meeting to speak his mind.
I wrote to Newton City Council and never heard back from them, so I decided to show up in person so they can't ignore my voice.
Newton, Iowa, like cities all across America, have public comment periods where concerned citizens can go and speak directly to their city council. When it was Noah's turn during the public comment period, he approached the podium and calmly read a prepared statement from his phone.
While I was reading from the statement, I called the police department fascist, and the mayor banged his gavel and told me to shut up. And I'm going to speak a little bit about last meeting, and this is what I think should happen. I think the top two fascists in this town, Mayor Michael Hansen and the chief of police, need to be removed from power. They have shown themselves
do not address the chief of police in that manner. Continue on.
I address you two in that manner too, to be clear.
Do not address the chief of police in that manner.
The chief of police and mayor of this town are two top fascists, and they need to go.
Your comments are ceased. Comments are over.
To be unfit.
Noah, your comments are over.
Why are they over? If you can't handle being told to leave power.
Even if you disagree with Noah's opinion, what happened next should never happen in America.
When the mayor banged his gavel the first time, I couldn't believe he was doing that, so I started arguing with him about it because I was doing the right thing. I have a right to speak.
The mayor and police chief didn't just silence Noah's speech. They arrested him and charged him with a crime because the mayor didn't like what Noah had to say. So we're at City Hall where you're arrested, they put you in handcuffs and walk you out those doors. What happens next?
Police chief sets me down, tightens my handcuffs. I ask him what I'm being arrested for. He tells me trespassing. He didn't seem to have a real clue what he was arresting me for, just knew he had to stop me from speaking.
Did they send a police car?
Yeah, he called back up, and then another cop car pulled up. I got put in the back of that, and he drove me to jail.
After Noah was arrested, police took him to the county jail, booked him, strip searched him, then put him in a cell by himself, where he sat and waited for his parents to bail him out. But that's not where his story ends. Prosecutors at the Jasper County Courthouse decided to criminally charge Noah for speaking at the city council meetings. According to them, Noah allegedly disrupted a lawful assembly. A few months later, a judge threw out all the charges because Noah didn't break the law. You, like Noah, have the right to speak out against your government without fear of retaliation. Whether you are concerned about potholes, the police. Unfortunately, what Newton did to Noah is not unique. It happens all across America.
It's my First Amendment right, protected by the Constitution and multiple case law. When we read the general section, the statute doesn't mean anything. No, it doesn't. Come on, okay. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Am I being trespassed on the threat of arrest? Am I being trespassed on the threat of arrest? Do not touch me, sir. Am I being trespassed on the threat of arrest? Answer the question. Am I being trespassed under threat of Answer the question. Answer the question. Am I being trespassed? No, I have been not asked to leave. He has been asked to leave. Am I being trespassed under threat of arrest? Please answer the question. The commissioner just put. Am I being trespassed under threat of arrest? Answer the question. Answer the question. Hicks, answer the question. Answer the question. Am I being trespassed? This is easy. You're on camera. Am I being trespassed under threat of arrest? You're on camera too. They asked you to leave. No, they did not. No, they did not. Caleb. Am I being? Answer the fucking question. Am I being trespassed under threat of arrest? So why are you unlawfully detaining me? Because we have asked you to leave. You have not asked me to leave. When have you asked me to leave? Get him outside the home. Grab my phone. Alright, do not escalate this further. If you take me down to the ground, I am personally naming you in the suit. Am I being trespassed under threat of arrest? Am I being trespassed under threat of arrest?
No, you're being trespassed.
Okay, no.
You wouldn't leave.
You just said no.
If you're not leaving.
Two Wilmington men who got arrested at a city council meeting settled their lawsuit against the city. The news broke this morning, the same day the city held their last city council meeting for the year.
WCPO 9 News reporter Jessica Hart talked with the men about the suit and went to that last council meeting to get reaction.
The two men didn't show up to the council meeting Thursday night. They did tell me they will be back to council if they have something to say. They hope their case shows other local governments you can't silence the people. Two men who sued the city of Wilmington settled their lawsuit for nearly $300,000. This was the moment that led them to sue.
All right, Tony. Put your hands on your back for me. What? Put your hands on your back for me.
Are you kidding me?
Tony Thomas was arrested and later jailed during an April Wilmington City Council meeting. A few minutes later,
I'm going to jail too, huh? We're going to sue the heck out of you guys.
Daryl Petrie was arrested and jailed too after they both criticized officials during public comment.
I knew they wanted to silence us, and I just didn't think they were going to go to that extreme.
The two filed a federal lawsuit against the city, its police chief, and the former council president. Their attorney, Matt Miller-Novak, explains why.
The reality is we're quite confident they violated the law. We filed suit. And we settled the case.
The lawsuit filed in August said the city of Wilmington violated their First Amendment rights.
Then we are leaving.
So are you going to arrest me if I do not leave? Get your fucking hands off.
It's a Class 2 misdemeanor for any disruption of official meeting.
It's not disruption. You disrupted. Hold on. Just am I being
Violate.
trespassed?
Yes, they asked you to leave.
May I have it in writing, please?
I've got a copy of the.
May I have it in writing? And I
I've
will
got it in
leave.
my pocket.
Thank you.
Get your hands off me. I am complying. I need this in writing. Get the fucking hands off me. Place it in my hand and I will leave. Place it in my hand. Get off me. Your detention is now unlawful. Get off me. Get off me. Get off me. Touch me again. See what fucking happens. What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number?
That's something for him to tell you.
What's your name and badge number, sir?
I'm Caleb.
It's Hicks.
Badge number is 110.
He needs to go.
We're gonna leave.
What's
I
your
gave
name
you
and
a
badge
copy.
number?
You said you could.
What's your name and badge number? Go. What's your name and badge
We'll
number?
get it.
You said
Don't
you
worry.
go
What's your name and
peacefully.
badge number?
Go ahead.
What's your name and
Can I
badge
have
number?
that in writing, please?
Yeah,
I'll
please
take it to
go.
my attorney.
Go.
Is that
Name and
his
badge
name?
number.
He's refusing. If we're gonna unlawful, you're violating
What's your
your
name
own
and badge
policy.
number? Go.
You're a disgrace to your department.
What's your name and badge number? No. What's your name? Shut the fuck up, you fat fucking. What's your name and badge number?
I gave you.
I'm going. I'm
Let's go
going.
peacefully. This is.
I'm going.
We are
Don't
peaceable.
touch me. I'm leaving.
We are peaceable. Unlawful detention. They're violating his First Amendment.
Yep.
No, we're not. You
Yes,
were
you
asked
are.
to leave.
No, I was
You
not.
didn't leave.
I was not asked to leave. We have it on the record. You cannot enforce a trespass.
Be arrested?
Yes. No, I'm not. I'm leaving.
under arrest.
For what? For what? Whoa, 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 whoa.
You're under arrest for trespass.
Because I'm requesting you to stand up, please. We're not going to deal with this. You're being very disruptive. You're disrupting the meeting. Stand up.
An elected official arrested and escorted out of her own meeting by police while criticizing the county sheriff.
This happened in Trumbull County, Ohio. Nikki Frenchko was arrested by 2 sheriff's deputies during a July 2022 commissioners meeting after she was critical of the county sheriff, Paul Monroe. The deputies told Frenchko she was disrupting the public meeting. She was removed and handcuffed, with her later finding out that her fellow commissioners were the ones that called the cops on her. While the charge was later dismissed, she immediately filed a federal lawsuit. This week, a judge ruled that her constitutional rights were indeed violated.
Stand up, ma'am, please. Stand up.
Disrupting a meeting?
That's correct. You're being disruptive. Stand up.
You can be removed for
You
being
stand up
disruptive.
now. Put your phone down, ma'am.
Why?
Put your phone down, ma'am.
This is for my safety. I'd rather go out where there's videos. Do you have a video on?
I do not.
No.
No.
Down. You're now under arrest for disrupting a public meeting.
If they can do this to me at an open meeting in broad daylight and violate my rights like that, it scares me to think of what they would do to someone else behind closed doors or in a dark alley.
This is not Vladimir Putin's country. This is not Bashir al-Assad's country. We do not arrest our political opponents because of something they said.
Queen City News Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes joins us now with his insight on this frankly disturbing case.
Yeah, and Khalif, first off, explain that law that she's accused of breaking.
Ohio has a weird law. It's a misdemeanor to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting, and the law prohibits obstructive conduct or speech that outrages the sensibilities of the group. And so they're pointing to the comments that she made about the former sheriff of the county. Because an inmate had died and they were going back and forth about it, and the one commissioner gave her an opportunity to roll back her comments, and she pressed forward. And so they went and used this law to remove her from the meeting, which seemed to be extreme at the very minimum, and at the most it seemed to be a constitutional violation.
Yeah, so you agree with the judge's ruling here, even though this happened a year and a half ago and we're now just kind of hearing about it.
1,000%. I often talk about how speech is not free, that we have folks that fight for our speech in this country.
Hello, 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 everybody. It is I, the White Rabbit here.
But we forget that why we have free speech in our Constitution is extremely important, because at one point you were not able as a country, as a citizen, to say what you want. And we had a whole war of it. And then at some point, our founders decided that what's extremely important is that we allow people to say what we want to be able to say in public forums without the opportunity to be arrested or to be silenced. And we've seen this attack on free speech. We saw it in Montana with the transgender congresswoman there who had the opportunity to say something, and her colleagues attacked her. We saw it in Tennessee where those elected officials were saying something and they got reprimanded, they got removed. And so there is an attack on free speech, not just for individual citizens, but for elected officials. And so I think the crazy point about that is, while we're at an extremely divided country right now, her attorney was a Democrat, and he listed as his reason for defending her, because she was a Republican, he said it doesn't matter about partisan lines. This is a constitutional violation, and it's clearly wrong. I was glad and happy to see that, because normally you see folks sticking to their side and acting like they can't stick up for what's right or what's wrong. This is a clear constitutional violation. And let's talk about the arrest, if we can, for a quick second. The officer saying, when she said, "Is your camera on?" And he was like, "No, it's not." Well, your camera, I can guarantee their policy is, if you're making arrests, your camera needs to be on and engaged. There's a 20-second delay, it will kick on, but he should have hit the button. There's no way you're not going to have your camera on if you're arresting an elected official in the middle of a meeting. So I would love to have seen the whole opinion and to see if the judge touched on that point as well, because he attempted to violate her rights right there as well, to not leave a record or a trail of what happened.
Obviously, it came about to be personal in some ways, but also in some other issues that are coming up here. But how much damages do you foresee in something like this?
I mean, that's the problem, is that because what harm was caused outside of that, that will be hard to calculate. And because they have not expressed what damages she received, I was not able to see that. But what I can tell you is the point was already proven, regardless of even if it was a monetary amount of a nominal fee of $1. The fact that the judge says that's not what we do in this country, that you don't attack political adversaries and allow them to be arrested because you disagree with their comment. That's a problem. That's not what this country was built on. And I'm glad that the judge did that. And I'm glad she stood up for herself and stood up for other folks and then filed this claim against folks that were completely wrong.
A Las Vegas attorney filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the North Idaho sheriff today after being banned from the sheriff's Facebook page. Attorney Stephen Stubbs says the Clearwater County sheriff violated his free speech. Graham 2's Kyle Simchuk is looking into the lawsuit tonight.
Well, Stubbs made comments on the sheriff's Facebook page criticizing the investigation into a deputy-involved shooting. Stubbs says those comments were deleted, then he was blocked from the page. Stubbs says the sheriff has no right to pick and choose who gets to weigh in.
This lawsuit is very important because our government officials should not be allowed to take away people's speech.
Today, Stubbs filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against Clearwater County Sheriff Chris Getz. Stubbs says he posted comments that were critical of Getz on the sheriff's Facebook page, and he had a right to do so. Stubbs says his comments were deleted, and he was banned from the page.
This was an official Sheriff Goetz Facebook page. He was speaking in his official capacity about official police business. When that happens, you don't get to pick and choose who gets to comment.
Stubbs says the point of his lawsuit is to correct the behavior he says violated his First Amendment rights.
But when it says Sheriff Goetz on it, and he's speaking as the sheriff about official business, that's when he's not allowed to alter or take away from people's speech.
The American Civil Liberties Union of New Mexico and the city reached that settlement in a freedom of speech lawsuit. Under the deal reached today, the city agreed to increase public comment from 2 minutes to 3 minutes at commission meetings and permit some speakers to donate their time. The city also agreed to pay $14,000 in damages and attorney's fees. The ACLU filed a lawsuit after POC board members limited public comment during a meeting last December.
This is about city government issues. We have an elected official.
Okay, somebody want to take him out?
The ACLU of Rhode Island says an agreement has been reached in their lawsuit against the Warwick City Council after a resident was escorted out by police during a meeting back in July.
Target 12 investigator Kate Wilkinson joins us live in studio now. And Kate, what does this consent order mean for the resident here?
So basically what this means is Rob Cody will be able to speak at the September 18th meeting about the property dispute involving Councilwoman Donna Travis that made headlines in the Providence Journal. Cody was trying to talk about the article in the July 17th meeting before he was kicked out by Councilwoman Travis.
First, I'd like to congratulate Councilwoman Travis for another front page of the Providence Journal.
You will be talking about city government or you'll be leaving.
In less than a minute, Councilwoman Travis calls over a police officer. The ACLU of Rhode Island filed a lawsuit back in August saying Cody's right to free speech was violated. Through this new consent order, Cody can also speak about other city government issues at future city council meetings during the public comment period.
But Kate, this agreement doesn't mean that the federal lawsuit is going to just disappear. What else does the ACLU want?
That's right. The ACLU still plans to move forward with the lawsuit to get, quote, permanent relief for Cody. The organization wants the city council to admit that they had violated the First Amendment and pay for the damages and attorney fees. What this consent order does do is remove the need for a hearing on a formal temporary restraining order against the city council, which was a piece of what the ACLU was looking for initially here. Target 12 reached out to Councilwoman Travis on Friday but did not hear back. Council President Steve McAllister said he could not comment on behalf of the entire council pending litigation.
Start it over. Okay, so tonight I stand on behalf of citizens of the south side of Odessa, specifically District 1. There are many things that we'll say. At this point, we won't talk about those things, but more importantly, we'll show you. I think it's very clear that you don't give a about what the citizens think because you'll take your own actions. There are 3 people on the dais right now who actually who are directly responsible to the citizens of District 1 and to the citizens of Odessa that I represent as constituents. Councilwoman Swanner, Councilwoman Ramada, and you, Mr. Hogan. The one thing that they told me to come tonight and tell you is that the actions that you've already taken, the citizens want to hear. You're responsible to the citizens. You haven't come to us. You haven't asked us. We don't give a about party politics. We don't care about your affiliations with the Republican Party. The citizens want you to do what we've asked you to do, which is govern. And you've eliminated 2 people tonight just because your petty personal biases and grievances. But it's okay, and I hope you feel that you've made the right decision. Mr. Mayor, please understand, I am filing a suit against the city tonight. You've disenfranchised my voice. Has anyone else signed a card to speak tonight who didn't get to speak? Several people. You see. But most importantly, and we didn't even plan on that, but tonight, I stand up here to make the announcement. We're actually filing a federal lawsuit against you, Mr. Mayor, and each person on the city council. We're filing a federal lawsuit based on your actions this year, which have violated the First Amendment Establishment Clause, the Fifth Amendment Equal Protection, and the 14th Amendment Equal Protection. We will add to that suit tonight what you've done tonight.
This is not Vladimir Putin's country. This is not Bashir al-Assad's country.
Our government officials should not be allowed to take away people's speech.
According to them, Noah allegedly disrupted a lawful assembly. A few months later, a judge threw out all the charges because Noah didn't break the law. You, like Noah, have the right to speak out against your government without fear of retaliation.